So I'm in my bottom garage here, just picking up some stuff that I need. So I've taken the bottle off the big welder. This is my backup one, which will do the job. I've got a new welding mask there, and these bits are for the tractor, which I need on Saturday. Because what I'm going to do is cut them with a plasma cutter, which is in the top garage, tack weld them, and then I'll bring them down and use the big welder. It's got much more force in it, and a stronger weld, and I can just bead weld each side and then just build it up, and so they fit properly. I don't know exactly how much needs to come out, but I'll measure them up now. So I'll take this little tractor up. God, that dust on that, look. That's been sat there for ages. It's just a backup one when I was getting the big one fixed in Bosnia. I've adjusted that cable now, so it's a lot better than it was. All I had to do was turn that cable in, because we put new pads in it, handbrake pads and brake pads in it when we did the IRS, and it's done, I don't know, probably not even done 1,000 kilometers on her, but you can see it's pretty. I'll take it that far now and I'll jack it up just to make sure the wheels are not binding, but that should really help. And I've cleaned this up here. It's just surface rust. What I'll do now is I'll put some stone guard over it and paint this black here, because it is black on the other side. I don't know why that's white. And then I can start doing the welding on the front. The wipers are organised, or on the way here from S&G Barrett in Holland, and I've also ordered 2 new water coolant caps, one for the header tank, one for the expansion tank, and one for the header tank, because there seemed to be a little drip on them. I think the rubber's just knackered, or maybe the pressure. Anyway, so that's the start. So I'll take it down now and see how that handbrake is. I did put some WD-40 on it, on the actual bar where the ratchet is, and I've worked it backwards and forwards for sort of 5 or 10 minutes, and it's really a lot easier now. So I'll see how it is when I get in the car. I'll show you. So Max has redone the carburetors. The springs are really bad on it now. You can see it's idling sort of 900 RPM. The choke was a bit tight on it. I'm hoping it's not the needles. You can hear it's running really nice now. Is that worse when you put on the breather? Is it worse when you put the breather back on? Shall I leave it off? Yeah. Leave it off? Yeah. The breather? Yeah. It's running really smooth now. Fortunately, can't get the PPM down. This is about, yeah, this is about 150 out. It's an old machine. Like showing 700 or 800, and they want 600. And that's the best we're going to get it. It's 1,000 less than it was. So.
As you see, we are really close.
Yeah.
Compared to the other one.
Yeah, I mean, when you listen to it. What do you think? Leave it at that?
Huh?
Leave it at that?
Yeah.
So let's have a see. There she starts now. Right, on the money. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I got a feeling that once it goes on their machine, it should be okay. Yeah. So after we got finished yesterday with Max, everything's running lovely. Of course, we were starting the engine, starting it and turning it off, starting and turning it off, and a lot. And just after he left, the starter wouldn't go. I could hear it clicking on the solenoid. Could be the exciter wire. It might be the fact that we've put it through so many cycles. It might have been very hot, the wire. So this is the first time I'm going to try it now. But it was just clicking. So hopefully it does actually turn on and it's cooled down. But I'll have to check the wire out. So we'll put the ignition on. There you go, there's the handbrake. Is it going to go click? Oh, shit. Bugger. Well, I have to go and lift it up and see what the story is on the starter. Maybe, hopefully it's just a loose wire or something like that. It's really going to bugger things up if I can't get that starter to work. So, hopefully you can see, when I was just a lot easier when you're in line with it. But you can see now this ratchet is working really well. And when it's flicking off. I can't pull it as hard as I can when I obviously sat that side, but because I'm hanging out the door here, but you can hear it going on and you can see it coming off. That's a lot better than it was, and it's holding the car well. So it should be enough now. There's enough. Oh, what's that? So I've got as you might see here, I've got the centre console out at the moment. Oh, sorry, the light's falling down. So I've got the centre console out at the moment. It's just basically this tray, because I'm going to put the choke in here. I didn't want to disturb it on the other end, so I've got special washers to use it, and it should be okay. So I'll show you it when it's all back together, but I'm going to have to start on the welding now anyway, so today and tomorrow. Well, I found out what the problem is. An exciter has come off the starter motor. Must have knocked it when I was putting on the carbs, but it's too loose, so I'll tighten that up. I'll pop it on and you're with me when it either starts or it doesn't start. Alright, let's see if it starts now. Bit of choke. Ignition. There we go. Just keep the choke on for a little bit. Oil pressure's coming up nice. Battery. It's the handbrake. Right, let's see if it flicks off now. Must be a switch there. Switch must be a bit buggered. Anyway, and the water temperature's working as well. It was a problem with the connection. It was loose, same as this starter was loose. There's like a plastic shroud on it and it wasn't crimped properly, so I had to take the shroud off. But now it's working a treat. One more go. On. Straight away, look at that. So, not only am I not getting my parts from SNG Barrett, which is a small, trivial thing now, unfortunately the power has gone out. I guess the power line, so you can see the automatic light's not coming on. And the garage went into darkness as I was working on the car. Yeah, so not a lot I can do. Hopefully it's not a power line that's down, but the amount of snow that's on the bushes, I should imagine the lines are massively heavy. Can't even make a cup of tea. Everything's electric, isn't it, these days? Oh my God. Just to give you, look at that tree over there. But just to give you an idea how bad it is, I've got a flashlight and we've got an open fire, so worst comes to worst, I'll get some logs and make a fire and sit around that until the power comes back on, whenever that might be. But look at that, look how crazy how that is. That's got to be a good 30 odd centimetres, that. I mean, the car, it just, I mean, look how deep it is. That's unbelievable for one Christ, look. I'll take them over. Then all the trees are all bending, look. It's complete white out here. Yeah, it's supposed to be supposed to stop around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I hope it does, but nobody's going to come and fix these cables. But maybe it's a big power station that's gone out, who knows. Well, that's me kind of screwed until it all comes back on. Is what it is. Just have to cope. Maybe my Royal Marine Commando skills will come into play now.